Hi, everybody.
Hello. It is August 6th, and today's lesson is there is always more room to maneuver than you think.
Mm-hmm.
It begins with a quote by Seneca. Apply yourself to thinking through difficulties. Hard times can be softened, tight squeezes widened, and heavy loads made lighter for those who can apply the right pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It has dawned on me this year how much I will sometimes give up on a difficulty.
Like if something is difficult, you have to give up on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I don't give up on it, then the next thing after that is thinking that the difficulty shouldn't be there, and that the fact that it's there means that there's something wrong with me, that this difficulty has presented itself. That's like a whole other bag of tricks.
Or you're like, this picked me. It picked me to...
Yeah, I mean...
to this misfortune of going through a hard time or something.
That was our house growing up because of how rare my mom's illness was. It was this constant thing of why did God select this difficulty for me? And it was also a period of time where any conversation around pain relief was outsourced to the medical professionals. So we felt very helpless to do anything about the situation, and this may have created a chain reaction internally inside of me where I perceive difficulty and I almost immediately go to the helpless place of I can't stick this out. I can't make this better. Now, luckily, I think going to work actually has been really helpful for me in that regard, because at work, there's this forced, hey, this is difficult, we all hate it, we all hate work, but we all hate this difficult situation that we're in, but we're showing up 40 hours a week, and here we go, we're gonna go make some progress on this difficulty. And we're going to have conversations with each other around this difficulty that are professional, where we're not freaking out or, blowing up at each other. And so that has been actually very therapeutic for me to experience the overcoming of difficulties through work.
Anything else in there for you?
That's it.
You want to read Ryan?
Sure, unless you have something.
No.
Okay. Ryan says, have you ever been hopelessly losing a game that suddenly broke wide open and you won? Remember that time when you thought you were certain to fail the test, but with an all-nighter and some luck you managed to eke out a decent score? That hunch you pursued that others would have given up on that turned out brilliantly? It's that kind of energy and creativity, and above all faith in yourself, that you need right now. Defeatism won't get you anywhere except defeat. But focusing your entire effort on the little bit of room, the tiny scrap of an opportunity, is your best shot. An aide to Lyndon Johnson once remarked that around the man there was a feeling if you did everything, you would win. Everything. Or, as Marcus Aurelius put it, if it's humanly possible, You can do it.
So ultimately, like, don't lose hope or something.
Don't lose hope, and also do
Because
everything.
Everything, and what do you mean everything?
I'm just saying it because of the quote, like when he said an aide to Lyndon Johnson once remarked that around the man there was a feeling if you did everything, you would win. And then Ryan emphasizes the word everything after that. He says everything.
Well, yeah, so that means that's impossible, right? And so therefore nobody can do everything, right? And so because of that, you will, what does it say? If it were,
I think he's just meaning he's not saying everything as in like all of the things. He's saying everything like don't give up. Like you need to go do literally everything. And like that's always what I'm bitching about internally is like, oh, but I tried this one thing and it didn't work. And it's like, yeah, well you didn't try everything. Like you have to keep going, try everything. Yeah, he says there was a feeling if you did everything you would win.
Win. So you would win.
Mm-hmm.
If you did everything, you would win. But what does everything mean? That's my point. Like that's confusing. Okay. Well, it's just confusing then.
Yeah, I'm interpreting it as like, you know how like in yoga, you might want to give up. You're like, oh, my muscle's tired, my muscle's shaking, I need to get out of this pose. And then I might even get out of the pose, but like that wasn't, my body could have taken a lot more, actually. It was just that I was uncomfortable with the sensation and I like, my mind prematurely put an end to the yoga pose. But like, there was still more that could have been explored or experienced there.
Well, sure, but if that's the...
And that's how I am with everything. I always want to give up. When
right, but give up is one thing, but like if you keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself always into another one, isn't that how you would ultimately end up in some sort of injury? Like if every day you approach your exercise with, I have to leave everything on the line here, like wouldn't, you know what I mean? I don't know, like if that's a healthy way to...
I'm not reading this as like I'm doing this all the time, but I'm applying this mindset to like the idea of like a difficulty or a challenge. And like that challenge has to be worth it at some level. Like it has to be important and a priority because, yeah, to your point, like I can't go do everything on every challenge that ever existed out in the world. Like I have to pick.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What does everything mean? Yeah, everything means everything, right? Like that's the definition of the word is. But then we're saying, well, no, not everything. Only everything in here. So
as it pertains to the difficulty. So like in the context of like I have this difficulty. What do I need to do to overcome it? Here's where we get in the air quotes, everything. I need to do everything in order to overcome it. Mm-hmm. But that everything is different depending on the difficulty and...
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I was understanding it differently, like ultimately he's saying, don't be stupid, you can't always win. Only the ones who win are the ones who do everything, and that's impossible. So winning is like you do your best and then there's some outcome from it, right? But like I was almost looking at it like he's kind of saying like you can't actually do everything, like but maybe I'm just like reading too much into it or something.
It's difficult to know because it's such little context that we're given for that quote. I'm putting it in within the framework of the entry, which is like there's always more room to maneuver than we think. Like there's more options to try. There's
Right.
more things to do.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Everything is impossible, so there's always something new to do, right?
And he's
so,
saying, like, so do those things, and you will find that you can maneuver around these difficulties in a lot more with a lot more freedom. You'll find actually that things that you think currently right now, it's impossible for me to fix this or find this or do this thing. Like, you will actually find that those things are much more possible. It's just that, like, you haven't dedicated yourself to doing all of the things in order to get past the obstacle or like whatever difficulties in your way.
Yeah, cool. Anything else on your end?
That's it for me.
Cool beans. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.